Question 750. Do you think the belief in an afterlife actually help those who are left suffering with grief?
Oh dear.
What the fuck do you gotta go and get heavy on us
I
now?
don't know. There's no easy answer to that question at all.
I think it can, but it depends on how they perceive their afterlife and that. But it's a kind of a false hope, and because I mean it can be just as bad because you can be wondering if they are going to make it to the good side or the bad side. So
I think it might help for a temporary amount of time during the grieving process, but overall, having that idea that there is life after death, it hampers your entire existence because you don't live your life as if it is your only life. You
live it on this. The thing is, you live it on this precipice that you live. What's the word for it? You live with this belief going forward as well that one day you're going to be reunited with them or whatever, and it doesn't really teach you to properly let go.
Yeah,
and that's where I think there's an issue with it.
Yeah,
that's exactly where my thought was going. Agreed, Jeff.
And this is it. I don't get me wrong. I think that it can help in the very short term. But I think overall, personally, I think it's detrimental.
Plus, with what Jeff said, not letting go. Say that you're widowed or you're widowed young, and then you think, well, I can't have another relationship for the rest of my life because I'm going to join my husband in heaven, and so you're alone and miserable for the rest of it.
Yeah. Very much so. Anyone else?
That was depressing. Fuck off, Dave.
I'm impressed that we managed to do we managed to do about 10 minutes on have you ever had a happy ending, but in a serious question about grief and afterlife, we've knocked out in about a minute and a half.
Right. Serious questions are
but these questions we tend to have a consensus on, so there is no real discussion there.
That is very true.
I think it does help some people, and the people that it does help should be left alone while they're doing it.
Are you on a 2-minute lag?
No, I was looking up.
Doing other shit like you always.
What are they doing though, Badger? You said they're doing it. They should be left alone while doing it.
Yeah, while doing their believing in an afterlife.
Okay. I thought you were going back to a happy ending.
It's also as well.
If someone's just lost their grandmother and they're there and they're grieving and they're like, it's okay, she's in a better place now. That is not the time to be like, yeah, no.
No, I agree.
I mean, honestly,
my point was not about whether or not you should interfere with grieving dead people. The point is to whether or not
yes, it does help some people grieve.
By the way, both of my grandmothers were kind of bitches, so I'm good with that.
You just love the idea that you're going to spend the rest of eternity with them in an afterlife.
Most definitely.
Some people might actually prefer it if the people close to them actually went down to the bad part of the afterlife as well. So
Stephen Fry got kicked out of Utah, literally out of Salt Lake City. He had his hotel paid for by Salt Lake City, the Mormon one, or the Jehovah's Witness one?
Mormon.
Right.
Mormon.
He had his hotel fully comped by them. They paid for it because they kicked him out of the city. Because they had someone out there preaching, and because most of the people were there that are Mormons, they didn't really have any interesting questions. They didn't really have any feedback. So there's someone out there preaching, and I'm obviously going to quote this very wrong. And they're talking about the fact that don't you want to spend your afterlife with your relatives? And Stephen Fry responded with, "Not bloody all of them. My aunt was horrible." And apparently this was enough to get him kicked out. Right.
Well, mind you, I mean, was it Republic of Ireland? Wasn't they? Tried to do him for blasphemy laws because of something he said on television.
Yeah.
Which, And which, if they didn't like the answer, the bloke shouldn't have asked the fucking question, which he clearly did not like the answer to that Stephen Fry gave him. You saw that, and he was like, because it was the whole "what if you're wrong" kind of argument or whatever. It's like,
was that not the "how dare you" one?
Yeah. And it's like, well, if I'm wrong, what would I say to God? Yeah, how dare you? You know.
It was definitely blasphemous.
Good answer.
It was a very good answer. I'm quoting.
Blasphemy is a ridiculous law.
If you've got the point is, I think blasphemy laws and the fact that every religion has something along those lines as part of its core tenet demonstrates just how much the people that wrote it feared people contradicting it, and nothing more.
Oh yeah.
Why would a god care if you denied it or if you were mean about it? It's a fucking god.
I mean,
why do you got passages like "the fool in his heart says there's no God"? Just say that.
Yeah.
I mean, we only got rid of
people who say there's no God. It's just
we only got rid of our blasphemy laws in 2008. So.
An interesting question. When did we lose capital punishment?
Oh,
you mean UK?
Yes.
UK. I'm trying to remember. It was in the 60s because I know it was Jenkins who was the.
Nope.
I think it was in the 80s.
Apparently, we still had capital crimes until.
Oh, you mean when
98? I think it was Human Rights Act passed.
That was right because there was they got rid of capital punishment for everything except treason up until.
Just give Kaz a minute and she'll tell us.
She's not looking it up because it's not a thing.
Actually, I was wrong. It was 64 in Western Australia was the last time somebody was put to death.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, our last time someone was put to death is a long time ago.
Ours are state laws here, so some states have it and some states don't. But I don't agree with capital punishment for numerous reasons. On the right side, I will tell them that it is actually more expensive to.
This is one of those. This is one of those things. Okay, capital punishment. I am strongly in support of from a theoretical perspective. I am strongly against on a practical perspective.
I am strongly against it on every perspective. So,
you don't think there are some people that deserve to die? That heinous.
I don't give a shit how fucking heinous they are. I do not trust certainly our system.
No. Again, this is my point, Jeff. This was my point. I am very for it on a theoretical level because I think that some people do deserve to die. I am very against it on a practical level because I don't think it can ever be practically implemented fairly.
Why sink down to their level for one and be as evil as them? Think about how horrific that is. To know the date that you're going to die and how you're going to die, and to sit there and wait for it. That is inhumane beyond reason, regardless of what that person did.
And aside from that, how often are they wrong?
But yeah, he's
no, like I said, my practical implementation, all the practical reasons, I'm against it. This is what I mean. From am I going to go and campaign? I'll campaign against it.
We have definitely hung people in this
that were innocent
country that was either they were innocent or were at least convicted on very, very flimsy evidence.
But again, he's talking theoretically, and my fight against that, regardless of however the system breaks down or whatever, it is not about an eye for an eye, and it is just completely. It is incredible torment to have someone know when and how they're going to die to the date. Can you ask yourself that if you could figure that out, if you could look into the future and know when you were going to die and how it was going to happen, would you want to know that? That is beyond words.
If I decided on it, then possibly.
We've actually had people in. And again, I know I'm kind of going back to this. We've also had people convicted on terrorism charges in the UK before, that if they'd been convicted of this offences a few years earlier, they would have been hung. And it's later turned out that they were convicted due to confessions extracted by them, by the police basically beating confessions out of them, and they were in prison for fucking years as a result.
I mean,
of that.
the entire of our history is things like that.
Yeah.
You also come to the question:
if that had been a few years earlier, they would have been hung on the fact that they were literally had confessions beaten out of them by the police.
I've got a compromise for you, Dave.
Go on.
Dave's raising his hand on his own throat, which is fucking weird.
Anyone who gets a life sentence for the kind of crime.
This is my idea. I put this idea forward.
You offer them assisted suicide.
Yes. This is what I said. This is what I've been screaming.
Well, maybe
about.
I put this idea forward.
Sorry, I was sidetracked.
There comes the question then, is anybody totally irredeemable? And how is that for us to decide at all?
Yes.
Well, you're not deciding if it's offered assistance.
I'm not talking about you, but I was going to say this before you started that.
I think there are people that are too. That I think there are. I don't necessarily think. The worst thing is, wouldn't necessarily agree that killing someone as punishment is a valid reason. Okay? I think there are people that should be removed from society because they are too great a threat to society. Not.
But if they're spending the rest of their life in jail, they're not in society, though.
No, but they are costing society.
But I think
they
we should just take them all and put them all on an island with food and supplies and let them just...
But again, that's cruel. I'd say that's crueler.
Yeah, but what did these people do? I mean, and of course, I'm saying in a situation where there's absolutely no doubt, solid evidence this person committed the crime. What the people they did that to? You think they're going to live a good life? Fuck them.
Okay. Here's a
wait. Can I?
Here's an issue that I have with capital punishment, which is the point of it is to remove the cost of keeping people alive and feeding them and all that.
No, not necessarily.
That's part of it. That there's it costs more to do it in the US, I think. The cost of it is to do it ethically, and they don't even do it ethically.
Nope. Okay. Firstly, go. This question was about grief.
That was the conclusion of my questions. I forgot what it was. Oh,
it doesn't matter.
How do we get onto killing people?
So I'm for it in principle, in very, very limited cases, but I don't think there's any government I would trust to implement it. So practically, I'm against it.
Yes.
I thought we moved on to.
I was going to say we've gone way off. I mean, I know this is the sort of thing that's happened on this. We've gone way off topic though.
I said I was sidetracked myself, and I thought we just moved on to a new question.
Grief question?
Yes. Apparently, we've solved grief by killing people.
No,
See, I was just looking for
we didn't expand upon this enough, and this is where it got us. So fuck you, Dave. This is your fault.
We
Jenny
told
says,
you to move on and ask a new question. We just assumed you had.
No, I was trying to. Right, next question, please.
Yeah, damn it, Dave.
Just briefly, Jenny asks, how much does Toblerone pay me to advertise? They don't. They should.
I think you should read the things I put in the chat.
No, not a chance in hell. I can't understand most of them. If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.